Chapter 6: The Pakistani Outpost and the Genetic Trap. The story shifts away from the lush, rain-shadowed forests of Mount Rainier, crossing the globe to a sun-bleached, barren desert wasteland along the rugged borders of Pakistan. Deep inside a crumbling, abandoned village, dust swirled through the ruins of a stone compound. Operating in complete secrecy to dodge the constant counter-terrorism patrols of both the Indian and Pakistani armies, heavily armed militants stood guard over a table stacked with black market communication gear. Standing in the center of the room was a notorious global extremist leader, his face hardened by decades of conflict. He pressed a military-grade satellite phone to his ear, his voice cutting through the static in a furious, venomous hiss. On the other end of the line, thousands of miles away, sat Victor Voros. "You are draining our resources, Victor Voros, and yet your progress is zero." The terrorist leader roared into the receiver, slamming his fist onto the table. "We have waited for 20 years. The uranium belongs to us, but you are chasing a ghost. If you cannot find Shadow, we will find someone who can." Victor Voros tried to speak, but the leader cut him off with a dark, low chuckle. "Calm your anger. There is an update," the leader continued, his tone turning dangerously cold. "Our network just got a tip from the United States. We have found a guy who matches Marcus's exact age, build, and timeline. But we cannot afford to go wrong. We need dead certainty before we make a move." The leader explained the trap. Deep inside the prestigious university where Clara and Vivienne were currently studying, the Syndicate had successfully planted a mole. Disguised as a simple college chemistry lab assistant, this deep-cover informant had been quietly keeping an eye on the twins for weeks, tracking their schedules and routines. Just a few days ago, during an advanced chemistry lab class, the assistant carried out his main mission. While the twins were busy, he secretly collected biological data, stealing used glass pipettes and hair strands left behind at their lab desk. "The genetic material is already secured and has been sent through an encrypted diplomatic pouch straight to your handlers in the States," the terrorist leader told Victor Voros. Since Victor Voros still had powerful, corrupt contacts deep inside rogue factions of the government, they still had Marcus's original, classified FBI medical records from 20 years ago. All Victor Voros had to do was run a cross-generational DNA match between the stolen college samples and Marcus's old FBI file. If the markers matched, it would prove without a shred of doubt that Clara and Vivienne were Marcus's biological daughters. The disguise would be over. The Syndicate would have the ultimate leverage to break the legendary Shadow and force him to give up the location of the hidden uranium. The line went dead, leaving Victor Voros staring at the phone as a slow, sadistic smile spread across his face. The net was finally closing in.